Hello, everybody. We're here with Latin Times El Cafe with our good friend Lourdes Reynolds Colon. And how are you doing,
Colon-Reynolds.
Lourdes?
Hey, nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you. We're finally doing a live interview with you, so this is awesome.
Yes, and I finally get to meet you.
Get to meet face to face.
I've heard
I
and
gotta
read.
do it in this.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's cool.
No te apure. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've read about you. I've heard about you, and so now I get to meet you.
Oh, thank
We
you.
have you in one of the issues of our Latin Times magazine as well, which is
Yes.
really good.
Yes.
So how,
Thank you.
so how are you holding up through all this? How are you and your husband and family holding up through all this?
We're holding up. I mean, like each day is just about like taking each moment because it can get crazy when you're like, I gotta get out. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm sure that's been a challenge.
a huge challenge for me. I'm used to just doing things
Yeah.
with a muzzle,
Yeah.
So, what have you been doing during that time? Like, just any new passions, anything you're writing about, or what changes are you doing, like to, I don't know, keep yourself mentally busy and all of that?
Well, to keep myself sane.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
actually I've worked out more. It gives me time to. Usually, I juice like just enough for a glass. Now I do like a whole jug.
Wow.
At the time, I still continue to help others that are dealing with health issues like cancer and that kind of thing. So that's also continues to be a daily thing that still hasn't changed. Um, just now, it's like I'm used to usually traveling to go see my mom during this time, but now they have this whole. She's in Chicago, so it's like to go there,
Oh,
you have do the whole 14-day quarantine and like
yeah. You can't.
Wow.
You
no.
can't.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What part of Chicago are you from?
Well, she's from the suburbs, so
Okay.
Waukegan, Illinois.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was born there, and I still have a niece there, so I know how that feels.
What part of Chicago?
Like Logan Square and Humboldt Park
Yes.
area.
Yeah, I actually lived in by Humboldt Park about on Haddon, actually about a good year or two there, and then I went back to Waukegan.
Wow. Yeah. It's a great city,
It
but
is.
I know it's going through its challenges right now, but it's a beautiful city.
It is. It is very pretty. Yeah. I mean, it's Chicago, so
Yeah. But you know what? Now, just about now, I cannot imagine a winter there. I just can't. I can't. I'm so
yeah. No,
spoiled
winters
now.
are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go from hot to extreme, ridiculous cold weather. No.
No, you can't. You can't. You know what? I used to walk to school in the cold with my hair curly. You know, you wet it in the morning. I'm talking about like 15 blocks. And by the time I get there, it was all little frozen icicle curls.
Oh yeah. I mean, even now that the weather's been so crazy, the last time I went out there during the winter, you could literally take water and throw it in the air and it just become dust. It was so cold. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm good over here in California.
I hear you. I don't blame
we're in
you.
Florida. We feel the same way.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I've been really, um, it's actually taking me more time now to like where I can actually educate even more. Where there was a time where I couldn't. So
Yeah.
I can only do so much in a week. But now because there's so much time, I can send more emails. I can send more protocols and regimens and stuff, and talk with people more than I could before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're doing that. Now, you just released a new book, Option C, and you tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, the book is called Our Journey to Option C, which is on Amazon. And it's literally our story, like our life story, how we met, our personalities, how we, bonded and then became one. And so when things happened, it's more like when, to death do you part, blah, 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 and sickness and health. And you don't think about sickness and health even when you get married, if you feel healthy and strong. And then it kind of goes into, when I was diagnosed. and how I made a decision not to do it conventionally, and the struggle it went through between my husband and myself and the family. And then goes into what it took to become a team to beat cancer and to really get people to understand, yeah, things can get really bad, but we have the control of it's going to go bad or it's going to go good. And we're so trained that we don't have any power in that. And it's not true. You know, we think cancer happened just because it happened. But that's cancer is really just a symptom. And I think our book is really touching on how, whether it's cancer or anything, right? Any health issue, your heart's acting up or you have a liver, anything. That's a symptom of something else. And then when you figure the something else and you get it's what you've been putting in, on, or around your body, that caused it, whether it's infection or anything, certain little things that go in the body that shouldn't be there. It's just our body's way of saying, you did this, and so this is why I'm here. And then you go, well, let me undo that so that can go away. And when you get it that way, you no longer fear cancer. You don't fear, kidney failure or any of those things, because you get why, and then you just go and start taking care of the why. And so it's just really, the book is about trying to get you, and it's really a mind frame. We've been programmed a certain way that it's time to unprogram that and really start working with our body instead of against our bodies.
Yeah. How did you learn all of that originally? I know, it must have happened after your diagnosis, but that is amazing knowledge that you were able to acquire when, a lot of people wouldn't have.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really because we're after so many years and decades of this happening to a doctor, that if something like that happens, we freak out, right? So we just hand our lives over to our doctors, and we do no research. Right. Some people do research, but they research like chemotherapy and what are the side effects, but they don't do research on like why it happened. What is cancer? How do I undo that? What causes cancer? Let me avoid that. We do more like, I did my research, and it's mostly that you find out that the research was really chemotherapy and people who have done it and the results to that, and about how the body works, how it runs, why a cancer cell would, mutate, why didn't our immune system get rid of it? We don't do that kind of research. I think when we get into that's why. So I think for me, 3 years prior to getting diagnosed, I always had this thing where I wanted to be an impact in the world. And I always felt like there was something big that I needed to do. So when I got diagnosed with cancer, it was just a no-brainer. It was like, that's why I got cancer. I've been treating my body wrong, and this is giving me the opportunity to find out why. And so I think that's why I did it differently. Like most people, when they get told they get cancer, they freak out, they get scared, they get depressed, sad, and whatever. More like, this is an opportunity to be a difference. Let me figure out why this happened. Let me figure out how I can do this differently, because we've been doing the same thing consistently and getting the same results, expecting a different result. And it's like, and people go, well, chemo, but if chemo's it, if radiation's it, if surgery's it, then why are we marching and donating for a cure if that is it?
Right.
Because that's not it.
Right.
So, people are like, chemo is it. It's like, but then why do people die? Well, it's just because they fought battle and they died. It's like, did they fight the cancer, or was their body busy fighting the poison? Was their body busy trying to die because it was being killed by being poisoned to death or radiating to death, right? You get burned to death, or they're cutting to death, but they're not really healing the body. So, when people say that person lost a battle to cancer, it's like, I look at it differently. They lost a battle on the fight that their body was doing against all the stuff they kept, it's like, this is how I see it. When cancer shows up, your immune system has been compromised. All these things have been compromised, and it's in our lifestyle. And I've heard people say, oh, this person was healthy, this person ate this. Apparently, no. Because when you're doing the right things, the body does the right things. If you're doing the wrong things, the body will let you know. So you can't tell me that somebody healthy, it doesn't even make sense. Oh, this person caught this and healthy, and they were healthy and no. It doesn't even match. But we've been trained that we are supposed to accept that. And it's like, no, we just have to start looking at things real clearly and say, does that make sense? Does healthy equivalent to someone dying? No, usually the sick die, not healthy people.
Right.
And if you got sick, why? Because usually you can feel a little under the weather and then you're fine because your body did its thing. But if you're feeling under the weather and you're not improving, why is that? And you can't tell me I eat healthy, because it's like, do you make sure that the ingredients and the stuff that you're buying, is it fresh? You know, is there any ingredients you go, I don't know what that is? Is it a chemical? Why is it in your body? It doesn't belong there. You know, is it artificial flavor, artificial color? And the word artificial on its own tells you it has no business being in there because it's not even real. It's official.
That's right.
So, you know, I look at just in everything. I started really researching, and in the research, I met a plethora of people who have beat cancer naturally, and most of them were terminal and turned it around and no longer weren't terminal, are still cancer-free to this day.
Wow. Amazing.
And then I have that I know that had cancer, they did everything the doctors told, and they're either living a really not a full quality health kind of life, those that aren't around, and then we blame cancer for it, blame the fact that we destroyed our immune system and strengthened that cancer stem cell because of the treatments. So because of that, our training is chemotherapy is the way to go. And anything else, you're just a quack. And it's like, and if somebody says, well, I know somebody, I had a conversation with someone said, well, I know somebody who did it naturally and they died. I can't speak to that because they did it naturally and they didn't cheat at all. They were 100% plant organic, juicing daily, you know, nourish, balance, and cleanse. They're doing the colonics, they're doing the coffee enemas, they're doing the wheatgrass. When they're doing all of it, I have yet to meet somebody who did that 100% that died. So when someone says that, I don't know. Did they do a couple things, but still did the things they should? You know, like I can't speak to that. And it's But what's funny is then, but how many people do you know that did chemotherapy or radiation or surgery and died? Because the numbers are in the millions. No, I don't really know the full, but we accept it. If they did all those things and died, it's okay. But if you do something holistically and you lived a healthy life and you died, but you weren't sick, you weren't having all these issues, that was bad. But you can be painfully dying and sick all these treatments, and then you die, they lost the battle. And the other one, the one in a million did the other thing, that they were healthy, they felt good at least, and then they died. Oh, they tried health, they died. And millions of people who have done chemotherapy have died. And when they died, most people said, at least you're not suffering anymore. You can't say that of the person that felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't suffering, they just died. One of them was suffering, but at least they're not suffering anymore. Well, they didn't have to suffer.
Right.
So I'm not trying to be like cold on thing, but it's like if we keep doing the same, expecting something different, it's like, come on, that's crazy. Yeah. So my stand is strong on those things. And I know some people are like, sometimes you got to like bring it down some. And it's like, yeah, but how many decades do we need to pass and keep keeping it down some while people keep doing the same thing and dying?
Yeah.
It's sad.
You believe in what you believe and you have proof.
You believe what you're told. You believe what you're told. Yeah.
Yeah. The list of people I know who have done it this way and like didn't cheat, they didn't do any sugar, and like sneak one in, they were 100%. They're still 100% cancer free. And it's funny because all those people that I've had the privilege of meeting, you look at their age and how healthy they are compared to people that are younger and they're not as healthy. It's like, there's something to it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went to this place and where it's all raw vegan. There's like no stoves. There's no cooking there. You're gonna have everything like the women that would be up there talking, they would tell stories, and I'm going, how old are they that they're talking about something happened in the 60s, but they look like my age or younger, but they've been raw vegan their entire life. And I'm like, well, there's the fountain of youth. So it's really, it's see that. Like, and they don't, and then they don't get sick. So I think it's really just a matter of stop the whole, this is crazy. It's like you have nothing to lose and say, let me take a look at it. Let me try something. Let me juice here once a day. You know, I do it more than once a day, but start, right? Just once a day. Let me see what, or once a week. And you'll notice it's that you'll start saturating your cells. You will actually start feeling better. So that's Ashley was like, just try it out. Don't take my word for it. You just try it and see how you feel.
That's true.
Compared to take a pill and you're like, you know,
that's true.
I feel better. Like, you know, people take it's funny because I had a conversation with someone that I won't say their name, but they're like, oh, well, you know, when I take this, I feel better. I said, but do you? Like, do you feel so amazing you can go do some stuff, or just feel okay because that pill, you know, turn down those receptors to numb the, you know, your receptors to say this is what you're feeling, so you don't have to feel it no more. But because if the problem is still there, then you end up dead. And they're like, oh, the person just died. Did they? Were they on some prescriptions? The prescription only numbs the receptors that are letting you know something's wrong, but it doesn't heal the issue. So that's where it's scary, because if you have a heart issue and all you're doing is taking a pill, but you're not doing nothing to actually heal that, you're gonna end up pushing daisies, man. I'm just saying, I'm being real. If you are not juicing and putting and nourishing your heart back to health, and you just because the doctor says there's no way to fix this, let's just give a pill and hide symptom for the cause. That cause is still there. And that cause is going to keep perpetuating to get worse. And then you're going to end up where they're going to say, oh, that person just died nowhere. They didn't die out of nowhere. That's not the way the body works. You don't just die for no reason. There's a reason to cause the body to stop. So anyway,
medicine is a business, you know? That's why.
Yes. And chemotherapy is a multi-billion industry. You know, it's we've had this conversation before, actually.
You got it? What was that?
I said we remember when we had the conversation about the chemotherapy industry.
Oh man, the money they make there, like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Just in general, the money they make doing that, and then because of all the side effects, all the prescription pills that you take to take care of those side effects, and then more prescription pills to take care of those side effects. You know, and just before you know it, you're just like swamped with stuff, and your body's just one toxic mess.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's nice to feel good, to really just give the body what it needs. Like you do that with your car. That's just a car. Make sure we give it the right oil, we give it the best gas, we want to run right, we give it its tune up. When the body is like, we give it all the junk and we want it to run at 100%. It's like, not going to happen. You know, we have to change our mindset to really, you know, here we work out, right? We're building the muscle, but what's the inside look like?
Yes.
You know, I had a friend way before I understood, you know, nutrition. He died early 30s. This was way back in the day. And what was crazy is that he worked out all the time, and he looked, I'm not gonna say he looked physically fit because he worked the muscle. So the outer part of his body was amazing. He still ate, you know, the junk. I mean, I ate the junk with him. We used to go out because we were really good friends. But then in his early 30s, he died of a heart issue, and boom, gone.
Man.
And his wife was the time. And you would have never thought, right? Because he's in his 30s, he looks physically fit, but the inside wasn't physically fit. The outside was, the muscle was, the visual, not the inside. It's just like taking the pill. It hides the problem, but it didn't fix the cause. So the cause is still there, which is how you're going to end up with more problems. It's just what's so we have to start looking at life a little different if we really want to live that long, healthy life. Not, well, this person died, you know, when they were in their 90s. Yeah, but like the last 30 years, they were hurting, you know, and they were like in agony. So that's the difference. It's like you can be in your 90s and go, that person died in their sleep and they didn't even take a pill in their life. They were looking, they really live their life to the fullest. The one that's got to be wheelchaired around, but that's 20 years of not really living. So I just say, if you really want to be at your top notch, because we can be, is we got to get the right fuel. It's like when you look at plants, why do they have all these vitamins, phytonutrients, and nutrients and minerals? And there's a reason.
Right.
It's in our bodies run out. So it's funny when you get people go, oh yeah, it's gonna help. It's like, but you do get that sometimes you go to the hospital, like you feel like you're having a heart attack, you find out you're low on potassium. Well, where do you come from?
Yeah.
It's in the plants. Yeah. So it's like, why are they giving it to you by an IV? Just drink it on a daily basis. Juice. You're gonna get the potassium and the magnesium. People act like these things don't work, but it's like magnesium is it's what actually helps the cells of the body communicate with itself, their job.
Yeah.
But if you're lacking magnesium, it's supposed to do that. If you're overtaxing your liver with all the junk foods and prescription pills, how is your liver supposed to over 500 functions supposed to do for the body when it's busy trying to break down the junk you just put in it?
Yeah.
It's just looking at the whole. And it's interesting when you start really researching, the body's amazing.
It is.
Our you know what I'm saying? It's like our creator really did a perfect job to the point where it's like it lets us know when we're doing something wrong. Instead of freak out, oh my God, I got to go to the doctor. It's like, no. Telling you you're doing something wrong. So what are you eating? What are you putting on, in, or around your body that it's doing that? Clean it out. I mean, coffee enemas, but even drinking a glass of water with fresh squeezed lemon will detox your liver. Doing celery juice. Ask anybody who's drink a glass of celery juice on an empty stomach. They're like, woo, be home when you do that. But it's these things.
Yeah.
It's these things that you can really it helps you, it helps your family, it helps your friends when you're doing this kind of thing. You can actually enjoy life to the fullest. In fact, for me, people go, oh my God, COVID. I don't freak out on COVID at all. Because it's like, we're literally surrounded by thousands of viruses on a daily basis. You're worried about the one, you've been surrounded by it on a daily basis. Unless you're like hidden in something where it's keeping everything, if you're out breathing, you're around it.
Right.
So, but that is because our immune systems get strong in exposed to that, right? So if you're exposed, the more you're exposed to things, your immune system recognizes it without, and I'm not talking about injection, I'm talking about when you're around, like herd immunity, how it used to be, right? Like when you're a kid, if your neighbors had the chicken pox, your parents took you over there so you can get the chicken pox. Now they're trying to get back. So crazy.
I know.
Remember that? It's like all 5 of us kids had the chicken pox. It was miserable for a few days, and then you were over it. And and now they're learning that by catching those things naturally, it actually builds you for, to where you can avoid getting cancer and those kind of things. Because it actually builds certain things in the body that your body wouldn't have. It wasn't for those viruses that you caught. So it's like those things actually do later. And I don't know what's the difference between that and getting a vaccine. And this is how I feel. The difference is when you're exposed to it the natural way, the real way, right? It goes through your skin because it's a protection. It's a filter. Your sinuses and all, your nose, your membranes, your mucous membrane, all that, it has to surpass those things. So it cleans out and gives you the right amount. And then it goes like 2 stages that it goes through before it finally goes into the body to build it up. When you do an injection, it surpasses those steps that your body does to protect you, getting anything bad later. Yeah, so when you do it just an injection, you surpass those 2 steps. It went right into your bloodstream. Never mind, it's man-made. What do I tell you about something that's not natural? Just like artificial flavor and then affects your health, so does those things. And never mind, if you look at the ingredients, there's so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
That it's like, why is it there? Like that causes cancer, that causes, brain damage. Why are we having these things in there, and why are we putting that into a child? Like that's like, or even an adult, because they're doing it now too. But so it's like, I don't personally want any of those things. I'd rather let my body do its job. I don't want my body to get lazy on doing its work and then complain later that I'm, having a serious health issue. It's like, well, why don't you just let your body do its thing?
Right.
Why, everybody wants to fix. Fix is nature. Let your, get out there and get dirty. Stay in the mud, let your feet get dusty. It's okay. So.
For sure. And
Anyway.
It's also fun.
Yeah.
Also what?
It's also fun to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
Instead of being the kind of person that's, afraid and cowering kind of, and giving into fear, really. Letting fear control them. And I know it's not sometimes easy, but you make excellent points because, we have so many things in nature that are here that we don't even pay attention to. And we'll pay attention to if it's in a bottle, but not in its natural form, And I love that too, because I've been trying to study for that too, because I don't know, I just feel like the older I get, the more I want to know about natural stuff. I don't like putting things in my body unless it's natural these days, It's just a business. It's a business.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing, and people
let
themselves.
about it's funny because when you look as kids, we used to play outside and we just it didn't matter if the person had a cold. In fact, I don't remember as a kid us really having much colds. Now it's just normal that a kid is cold, but there's so much more vaccines than there was when I. And it's funny because I look at the things I'm going, I remember as a kid, the one thing I did suffer a lot from was I had stomach issues all the time. And one of the symptoms of vaccine issues is stomach issues. And it's funny because it's, you think about your immune system is in that area, it affects a lot of things in your body that's trying to help. And that's where you also, you break down your food and get your nutrition. So you're affecting that very thing that also helps everything else. And it's like, wow. So all that time they kept trying to figure out what was my issue.
Yeah.
It was probably the vaccine, and it's, right.
Yeah.
But now I look at kids, I'm like, they're like consistently always like a snotty nose, or they go to school and then they come back home and then they're getting everybody else sick because it's more than just that they were outside playing. Now they got this stuff in the body that the body's trying to resist, which actually leaches out. And it's funny because some people go, it does not, leach out. Of course it does.
Yeah.
Here's the easy one. Anything you put in your body that shouldn't be in there, it's going to start filtering out. I've seen people where they drink and your whole house smells like them, right? Because it came out of their pores, and they could they could smell it. It's like scrub a few, like scrub yourself for a little bit, because it's like shooting out of your pores. They'll sweat it out, but it's out of your skin. So it's like, when someone's getting injected, I try to avoid them because I'm like, that ain't natural. I'd rather the natural connection than someone who's been injected, because I don't want that chemical coming into my body. So that's where I'm like, I'd rather be, craziness. But to look at life, and if you want to really live life, then that means you stop trying to get scared of everything, and stop having people tell you and then you freak out, because all you have to do is research it. When you start looking, and don't look on one side, look at it all. When you look at all parts of the story to something, there's no longer a reason to be fearful, because you now know the whole story. The reason why we're scared of what answer or anything else is because we're not looking for answers. We're not educating ourselves in the full story. Well, this is what they say, these doctors say in the conventional. This is what functional medicine doctors say. This is what holistic doctors say. This is, what nutritionalists say. And then when you get all that information, now you can do an educated decision.
Yes.
Fear is really just fear of the unknown. But when you educate, there is no unknown.
Exactly.
Now you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you take back your power over fear by educating yourself.
Yeah, people have to be awakened, and that's why I love this, the book that you wrote. And you and your husband work a lot together as a team. You guys are a tremendous team. You know, I always watch you guys, and you're always together. And you know, it's too bad he couldn't be on here. Maybe next time we can have him on here with us. But
yeah, we'd love that.
So there, I talked to you also about a film you did with Oscar Torre, which was also a friend of ours, a good friend, and his wife too. And it's called Broken Innocence. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that one actually in film festivals now, which is great. It was picked up, and we're like, yay! I like that one because it kind of touched upon things that, you know, because I mean, children in general are innocent. Just so, I mean, we're born innocent, right? It's get corrupt as you get older. But broken innocence really has to do with, in this story, my son, who's really young, and I'm trying to think of what I was battling. I know I was sick. I played a sick in real life, but in the story, I'm sick, and I have 2 little boys, and the oldest gets involved with like the cartel, and so and he's trying to fight things so that he can help fight because I'm sick, and it's kind of like what happens to my son through this whole thing that he's trying to. So they're breaking his innocence, But I might say too much of the story.
Oh, no.
I might tell too much of the story. But it was great. It's always great to work with Oscar.
Yeah, it's a
He's amazing. Yeah. So this time he actually Oscar plays the bad guy in this one, and then in the prior one to that one that we got, he played my husband in that one, which is called Lost Souls. So that was fun too. It's all to work with him because he's so talented.
Yeah, he is.
Working with talented actors is an extraordinary experience. Yeah.
Wow. So what projects do you have coming up that you guys are working on?
Well, we are working on, because we've just finished a rewrite on our story called Option C is the name of the script. And but because everything got crazy, it's kind of on a slow, but we're working towards getting that made. And then I am working to put things together for recipes and stuff because I have a whole protocol on how to keep healthy. So I'm working on that so it can be the next book. And had many auditions, you know, virtual auditions, which is a different experience. But it's funny, I actually don't mind the virtual auditions. That way I don't have to do the drive.
It's like fun, actually.
It was, you know, it's funny because it's like when you get prepared for an audition, after you're prepared, now you got to go through traffic, and you got to find a parking spot, and it's hectic because it's always at the worst time that you got these auditions. So the upside on this little thing is that we get to do it at home, and then you just upload it and send it to the casting director. So that's been fun, and I've had a few of those and quite a few callbacks, just waiting for that one that's going to finally, you know, but it's, So that's made it fun where I don't have to go driving because that kills some time. I mean, you know, here in LA, the traffic is so bad that usually when it's not traffic, it's like a 20-minute drive becomes an hour drive, and then just the whole thing becomes a 2 or 3 hour day. Just side, So we'll see. Hopefully soon, the next will happen. The only thing I've been, you know, it's funny because now what they're doing is you have to do the was it the COVID test if you land a job. That one I'm just waiting to see how that works out because it's like I really don't want to be touched with anything. I don't, you know, this is my problem with it. If it's got something on it.
Yeah,
and the person doing it, taking it and giving it to you. They weren't there when it was put together.
Yeah.
You know? And the fact that there's like 90% of it has been a false positive or a false negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that it was positive in it that made it positive, even though you didn't have it.
Yeah.
And now do you have it because you put that in? Just so
I
that's been
know.
my dilemma lately that I'm going, I don't know, because do I land something and then go, I don't know, is it worth putting this up my nose?
That, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little struggle.
Yeah. I mean, they
So
could
I'm
just take
that they'll-
temperatures. That's the only thing they should do is take temperatures. Not be
You would
invasive.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, the thing is, it's like if you're just looking for the mucus, right? It's the body that. Why can't I just spit in a cup, and then you take the swab there, where that way, whether that's contaminated or not, it didn't touch my body. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why does
Yeah.
it invasive? Why do I put it all the way up in there? I
Yeah.
don't know what's that. I don't know what you. It's my body. They're like, oh, there's nothing. Were you there when they put it together? So then, how would you know? And
Yeah.
if it positive when the person was never even touched with it, what's on it that it came out positive? So why would I want you to put that in my body?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the safest thing is if they want to do that, then they should just have someone spit in a cup and you're like, that there.
Yeah, I
You want me
agree.
to blow in the tissue, but I'll blow in a tissue and you can take it from there. In other words, if your thing is contaminated, you didn't contaminate me.
Right.
And even to the temperature taking.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it at the forehead? Why are we zapping the forehead?
Yeah.
Like we're too close to the brain. Let's leave that alone. Why can't you do the arm? If you can take that zapper, in fact, if you read the instructions, it tells you to do it here, but you can do it on an object, take the temperature. So then do it on another part of the body. You can do my arm, but why does it have to be here? So anytime they make it a certain, it makes question. And if more people questioned and more investigation done, they'll stop this craziness and fall into just following orders.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
So that's been my
good point. That's a good point too. Yeah, because the temperature's all over the same on the body. So it shouldn't matter if it's here or here.
Yeah.
I have a fever. You're going to catch it here too.
Exactly.
It doesn't make a difference.
It's still here.
Just from touching me or standing in front of me.
We should do your forehead right here. Because everywhere else, your body is cold. It's like, yeah. So that's what it's just little things that they do that makes a question. Why does it have to be specific?
And the viruses know the 6-foot rule too,
What was that?
The viruses know the 6-foot rule too. They know that.
The virus knows the 6-foot rule, he said.
Somehow, even it's, as I tell you when they put the mask, it's like it's a virus. You might can stop you from sneezing on you, but me breathing and that air is going right through it, and it's not going to stop the virus. It makes no sense. Even the part that really got me was that they were talking about a certain temperature and it would kill it, and I'm like, and they didn't kill it outside in this weather. It's 112 outside, 114, really? Because I go out there and it feels like it's burning my. But it didn't kill the virus.
It should be dead.
Yeah, I get. It should have been gone in those 14 days that it was needed, But somehow 14 days later, no, still nothing, and months later, and still. And this is another thing that I had an issue with. Because we go, but people have always been dying. Millions of people die every year and no one cares.
Yeah.
But now because of the name to this one thing, now we're worried. It's like, but since we're just testing now, who's to say how long it's been out there?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we just started testing now, where's the proof that we haven't had this going on for years?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's true.
And we won't go in. So, because someone dropped. Well, people have always been dropping. And now, why is it that they made a big deal about 150,000 people dying in the year? And then you find out when they did it correctly that out of those deaths, the ones that were supposedly, I say supposedly because I don't know, died from COVID was 9,000.
Right.
But that public. And then the other ones, they died of other things who happened to have COVID, but they had other things, and those things were going to kill them whether they had COVID or not.
Yeah.
Right.
So now they cleaned that part up, but they didn't state the media. So it's when, for me, people are thinking, why aren't they sharing that? Why is it that you have to search for it and then really break it down? If it's, you know, it's like no one wants to really look at things anymore. They just want to be told, do this, do that, and okay, I'll follow the rule. And so said, well, you know, CDC, it's and who?
Yeah.
Okay, but then we pay out $1 on lawsuits because of their stuff, and we're going to trust the one that we pay billions of dollars on their stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's so safe on what they do. We have to trust them. Why is it that the government pays out this, you know, this stuff out to those people that sue because they killed them or whatever, and that stays quiet? So it's like, so we're going to trust what they say, yet the lawsuits, not against them because, you know, the government said, okay, you're losing money on the lawsuits, we'll pay it, and you guys keep doing your thing. So they have nothing to lose. And because the government pays that comes out of our taxes, we're really paying it. So we're paying them to kill us and get us, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it and it's like, if we really pay attention, like really pay attention and take politics out of the way, we'll see things differently. But we're too busy making everything political, which drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's like every time something happens, Trump did it. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
he came all the way from the White House to my neighborhood and made them do that? That's some power. I'm like, give me some of that. And they did it in different areas at the exact same time. All these different cities and states having these issues in one location. And these people don't have to take responsibility. Don't worry about it. It'll be his fault. I did it, but it's his fault.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing I don't want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So every time someone says it's because of this, I always go, now, did he do it or did the other side do it? That person to look back. So they put in their little things in there and paid them money to do it. And then it's like, oh, look. See, so when you stop and get away from the politics and just say, this is what's so. These are the real numbers. Were these people like doing things that, you know, like a lot of times, even with the flu, they've noticed you get the flu shot, right? You can get from it.
Yeah.
But nobody even touches that conversation.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
9,000 people that died among the billions, those 9,000 among the billions that are still alive and fine, did they get a shot? Has anybody investigated, right? Did they do, well, out of these 9,000, this many people had the flu shot.
Yeah.
Or this many people had vaccinated. You know, nothing gets done that way. It's like they died and that's it and they caught this. But where did they get it from? Because most people that ended up testing positive anywhere to even test positive, but they did.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, could be more to the story, you know?
Yeah, a lot more.
You mentioned, oh, you're this horrible person. Like, I'm a horrible person because I think we should really look, you know, like dissect stuff so that we don't fall into any trap.
Yeah.
We should never live our life letting someone else tell us how or dictate us what we're supposed to feel, how we're supposed to live, what we're allowed to do.
That's right.
I'm sorry, but I've been around so many since this whole COVID, and I haven't caught a sniffle.
Yeah.
I've hugged people, hands, spoke closely without a mask and not 6 feet away. I have not caught a thing.
Amen. That's
I
great.
have, my husband, my brother hasn't. The people that I've been hanging out with haven't. If it's that big of a pandemic, they said, I should at least catch a sniffle. Like at least a sniffle, something I gotta go. Now I gotta on my nose again, or I keep coughing.
Yeah.
Let me eat my garlic, clear that up. I haven't had to do any of that thing to fix it. There's nothing to fix. What am I, unique? I don't think so. It doesn't say, well, it's Lourdes, we won't get her. But this person over here will catch them.
Stay away from her.
She's trouble.
It's like,
she's not gonna believe you. Don't even talk.
Yeah, don't give her the COVID goes, not her. Because, she'll do something. We're going to get this person. We'll just surpass her. I mean, I go to Walmart. I go to Whole Foods. I just walk right next to the person. And I don't cover my nose. So I'm allowing myself to breathe the oxygen my body's supposed to. And some people may not like that. But if you're okay with breathing in your CO2 yourself, go for it. I'm not okay with that. I was ill 8 years ago. I will never experience illness again. Not that way. I'm sorry. So I will not have someone force me to cover and breathe in some toxins into my body. My body's breathing it out. It's supposed to. Plants take it in. They give us the oxygen. I'll take that. So even with that, even with me going to all these stores and not covering my nose and breathing everybody's stuff that comes out of their mouth, don't even get a sniff. Nothing, not a cough, nothing. That's awesome. Haven't felt sick, haven't felt under the weather, nothing. And we're already in September. So when I look at that, I'm like, if someone got sick, could it be their diet and they were around somebody that had something, so then they got a little ill and you give the name COVID? I'm just saying, could that be the reason? Because we're looking at the test. In fact, the person who created it said you can't use it for testing viruses because it won't work. So why are we, it looks for the RNA genome, right? So we're looking for that. If you had a cold, you would have the RNA genome. If you had the flu before, your body would show that you had RNA. That's in our body. Yes. Most people will have it in their bodies. It's rare they don't. So if it's coming out positive, how do we know it's not any one of those other things? Why does it have to be COVID?
Yeah.
And why did we say it shows up as COVID when that will show up for anything else? Any other virus. That includes the colds and the flus and the bronchitis and fill in the blank, any respiratory issue, you're probably going to end up positive. And we're okay with accepting that test will look for the very thing that you would have if you had a cold. We'll accept it for COVID anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's odd.
Yeah. Wow. You're right.
So before you research, we're going, wait a minute. So this test would be positive even if COVID didn't exist if I had a cold?
Yeah.
Or I had any other virus? So why are we just giving it the name COVID? Why don't we just call it a flu or a cold or a bronchitis? Why don't we give it that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't.
It had to be new.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
It had to be new, new and scary.
New and scary and pandemic.
Yeah.
So that everybody could just be stuck at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm doing it. It's like,
yeah.
I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for them. I'm like, you're doing it for them?
Yeah.
Well, then just stay home if you're sick. Do it for all of us. If you're home, if you're sick, stay home. When you feel better, come on out.
Yeah.
But if you're healthy, you're not sick, why are you covering your face?
Yeah.
You don't want to be exposed to something that builds your immunity? I want my immune system to be built up consistently. I don't want to cover it from anything that's going to help build it.
True.
And covering my face, if something new comes up, my body didn't go through the filters to be able to expose and build my immunity. I'm stopping it, which when it comes to virus, if you're wearing a mask, you're really not stopping it anyway, but you are breathing your CO2. We don't want that. We breathe it out for a reason. It should stay out.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
So tell us where everyone can, find your Option C book, and you have it on audio too, like audiobooks and all that, or just books?
I haven't done audio yet. So I'm waiting for. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Anyway, what was that?
You're coming in and out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So you can find me on Facebook as Lourdes Colon or Reynolds. Either both pop up. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram. Again, it's Lourdes Reynolds without the S because somebody else has it. And then you can check on my website, which is www.createoption.com. And that has a lot of information. In fact, some protocols, some recipes, where you can get my book. Then you can go there and get it. So you can get it. So you can go to createoptionc.com or any of my. I actually have a group on Facebook called Create Option C. You can join that anytime. It's not just me sharing information, but others share information as well, which is, I really encourage it, because someone may be from another country, another city, whatever, and they came up with something that I didn't know of. So I really encourage people to share all their stuff that they're doing, the things that they found. And it's all about health there.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody puts something about health, it's one thing if they're trying to share a video that's funny to, that's healthy to laugh. But if it's something that they're trying to sell, that gets removed because it's there so people can actually find out information for themselves to stay healthy.
Oh, that's good.
So Create Options. Join.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lourdes, for being with us.
Yeah, we really enjoyed talking.
It was a long time coming. It's a long time coming.
Thank you.
So we look forward to
and I hope you heard me well.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. You made some really good points.
Okay, because my computer, I'm like, I was trying to it just wasn't working. Right.
Thank you for sharing.
Go off. We're gonna go off the broadcast, but don't go off yet. Okay. You there? Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll catch you at the next Cafe.
Cafe Live.